planet's highest volcano counts. The tragic events experienced by the inhabitants of Chaitén are the most recent example of just how vulnerable human plans can be in the face of the forces of nature. We have studied the subject of the power line, and we know where they intend to run it, and it has severe limitations. In fact, had this project been built, the line would now have been cut for the past 8 months by the Chaitén volcano, because it passed 550 yards away from the volcano. Therefore a very vulnerable line, and that would on top of it be supplying the demand of around 20% of the country's interconnected system. This can easily mean a blackout each time the line malfunctions. Dams with irreversible social and environmental impacts. Thousands of acres of forests and valleys lost forever. Endangered species at risk. 6,000 high-tension towers along 1,400 miles. A fatal blow to Aysén's sustainable development model. A fatal blow to the country's image. These are a few of the effects that have been minimized by the Environmental Impact Report. But what is most notable is that many physical threats, such as the gulfs, earthquakes and volcanoes, were simply ignored by the report. It's a bad report from a bad project. Now, it's very difficult to produce a good report when a project is so bad. Patricio Rodrigo was at the head of presenting thousands of observations on the project that were written up by the Council for Patagonian Defense, several organizations, and thousands of citizens. We are handing in over 2,000 technical observations and are completing more than 10,300 citizens' observations. It is an unprecedented case, historical in Chile. No project has ever had so many citizens' objections. This enormous amount of observations indicates the project has grave deficiencies, but it also shows that the social rejection generated by the enormous dams is widespread across the entire region. It was the straw that broke the tolerance of Chile's citizens, being sold any old project as worthwhile, even though it actually was tremendously destructive for the environment. The most tangible proof of opposition to the project occurred on November 28, 2008, when thousands of citizens' observations were handed in to the Aysén project. Hundreds of citizens of all ages marched that day, overcoming their political, economic and social differences, in order to stand against either Aysén and Transelec's projects. They marched in defense of their right to live in a region where nature's values are not just a privilege, but rather the very basis of their well-being and their future development. A process was generated in which the citizens' participation was encouraged, which is what allows one to demonstrate there is a community that considers these projects harmful, not just to the natural surroundings, but also for what we have in the Aysén region in terms of environmental quality, social well-being, and completely sustainable economic alternatives.
Con este nivel de rechazo no puede ser aprobado en un país democrático como dice ser Chile. No se va a aprobar este proyecto.
The citizens were convinced the project would be declared inadmissible for consideration. But this did not happen, and finally, the project was received for evaluation. The political pressure outweighed the thousands of technical and citizens' observations. This speaks to us of the enormous deal hiding behind the project. The companies budgeted a cost of $5,000 million to carry it out, while the annual return is estimated between $1,200 and $1,400 million. You realize that this investment of $5,000 million with a return of $1,400 million represents an extraordinary business opportunity. Therefore, this is profit for a few, pain and harm for many. It is often argued that these gigantic dams produce clean and low-cost energy. We have already seen it is not clean in environmental nor in social terms. But will the energy produced actually be cheaper? An analysis of the real costs indicates these gigantic dams produce expensive energy, thereby representing an astounding scam to all Chileans.